if you want to see 2,500 gold, I can bet my last penny on the fact that it's going to move there on fundamentals, not on a technical pattern. This wick low actually seems to be holding as a low for now. It's going to be either challenged or acknowledged here today with this PCE number. For the dollar traders out there, whether you trade currency pairs or you trade gold, this is going to be meaningful, because here's the thing. If you are watching the dollar index, right, and you get PCE, personal consumption expenditure. Here's the thing. This is, by the way, if you have not followed PCE before, you're newer to these streams. I know everybody knows about CPI. They know about NFP. PCE matters a lot. Although it usually follows CPI, and it is usually not as moving of an event as CPI, it has been many times said by the Federal Reserve officials that this is their preferred measurement of inflation. And so this number does really, truly matter. That's why it probably will move markets here this morning. So if you get a hot PCE read, meaning, again, prices are on the move up, right? A hot read would imply higher than expected inflation read. If you get that here this morning, that's probably going to be strong for the dollar. Why? Because it would suggest that the Federal Reserve may not be looking to cut interest rates as soon, and may even need to keep them at current levels for longer, right? They have not made their first interest rate cut. The market is wondering when that first rate cut is coming. If rate cuts are not coming anytime soon, boom, up goes the dollar. If interest rates are coming soon, interest rate cuts are coming soon, and perhaps if we get a cool read here today, maybe you look for the breakout of this dollar trend. Right? I've been bullish on the dollar. US economic figures have come out pretty strong recently, but this one has the potential to turn the tide. We've seen the pullback. Buyers need to show strength. Otherwise, I need to get out of my ideas on the long side for the dollar. So what we're looking for here is a break to the downside or holding this area. This number is pretty important, because if you get a surprise either direction, this thing is going to move pretty substantially. If you get like no surprise, don't be surprised if you don't get any move at all, right? If PCE comes out completely as expected at around 0.4%, then don't be too surprised if we see the dollar just kind of chop around. But again, this is why we watch these events. It's kind of like tornado watch, right? You don't know guaranteed that you're going to see one or anything like that. It's just you got to keep an eye open, and that's why we do these streams. I'm trading GLD. It is an ETF. In the US, we can't trade CFDs, so I can't trade XAU USD on a regulated brokerage. So instead, I trade GLD, which is just the gold ETF on the stock market. So I do have a trade open. It's really, really small, but we're waiting to see what this one wants to do. So if I go back to XAU USD just for the analysis component, so we're holding support around this area. I am long. And if we take a look at the daily chart, my thought process is I think we could get back up to the top of this range. But I've also been pretty clear about this. In terms of this trade, it's a small relative size for me. So what I'd be looking for is potentially one of these guys, right? If you get this white drawing scenario, I actually may look to add to the gold trade, because that would tell me, hey, we might actually be breaking out of this choppy range that we've been in.
Market analysis, free trading courses, edge finder data, and special offers. What do these things all have in common? They're all available for you right now inside of our free Discord. You can click the link down in the description below to join the free Discord today and get access to all of this and more. Stay up to date with all the latest trading information and A1 content. And if you want to upgrade to our Gold VIP Discord that features every single trade that Trader Nick and our other professional analysts take, you can find the links for that in the description as well. So don't wait, go check out the free Discord today.
I like the fundamentals here right now for gold. If we start to see technicals that align with this, then I really like it to potentially add to my trade. I do like to add to winners. And I should clarify, check this out on the Edge Finder. We got USO on top. You love to see it. Gold up there as well. These are two positions that I currently have on myself. And I love to see that not only am I already in US oil, but the edge finder is giving us a very bullish reading. You love to see that. That's really great confirmation. All right, guys, and core PCE dropping any second now. All right, and look at that. Gold just shot up. DXY came down here slightly. You've got NASDAQ slightly up, S&P slightly up, Dow slightly up. And why is oil not moving at all? Interesting. Pound dollar, euro dollar, gold up. We like to see that. It's going to tell me that maybe we had some soft inflationary numbers. Let's see if that is in fact the case. Well, claims came out soft. 215,000 claims compared to the expected 209. Core PC came in as expected, in line with expectations. So the market kind of likes that. You can see stock market jumping on that. Same thing with the NASDAQ as well. These markets pushing up on that. Gold loves this, up to 2,036 an ounce. And that's from a low of 2,028. I mean, that's up $10 an ounce in just the last hour, which is not bad at all, as we are long gold and oil. Remember, got positions on both of these ones here. S&P 500 moving higher, NASDAQ moving higher, Dow moving higher, euro up, pound up, and look at gold go, guys. There we go. Let's go get full screen on gold, see what this has for us. Like gold trade might be making a move now. There it is. Okay, so we're looking at gold here. Gold is pushing off here through the lows, wicked down here this morning, retested my entry area, and is now pushing up. Go ahead and pull up my positions here. We can look at it. So also, I am very also curious to see what's up with Bitcoin here this morning. So we got gold making a move up 469 bucks now. That's not bad. US oil is still above the 5,000 in P&L, so we'll continue to watch that one. Let's just look at USO. Here's US oil. And I'm curious to see what good old Bitcoin is doing here this morning on in line with expectation inflationary numbers. Does not seem to be moving the chart too much. Although I should mention, it's very, very low time frame here, but 15-minute chart moved higher on this in line with expectations inflation. That's pretty much what you would think would happen. Remember that inflation cooling, historically speaking with Bitcoin, has been a pretty positive thing, and inflation spiking higher has been negative because higher interest rates do actually have an impact on Bitcoin, it seems. Just look at 2022. It was a rough year. Anyways, let's see what else we can get into. Here's the S&P. Here's the NASDAQ. So NASDAQ and S&P are still kind of overall ranging. This week has not been, very exciting for the indices. I don't have any current trades on the indices exactly. I do have some options plays that I'm doing, but in terms of index longs or shorts, nothing there. Russell's doing okay. This is okay for our Russell put that we sold. So that's doing all right. We like that. The Nikkei, here's the Chinese stock market, the VIX, the dollar index. Again, let's keep an eye on that dollar index. Really kind of an interesting candle here forming. Dropped lower, coming back here a little bit. Let's break down the key two things that we got here today. First of all, unemployment claims came out showing a little bit of cool in the economy in terms of unemployment. Now, this is not a huge miss by any means, but analysts were expecting 209,000 unemployment claims, people claiming unemployment, right? So this being a higher number shows weakness on the job market. This being a lower number showing strength. Well, you can see that we actually came out with 215,000 claims for unemployment. more so than what was expected. So in this case, you would say, ah, yeah, that's a little bit worse than what was expected, right? What is the impact on the dollar from this one? Somewhat bearish. It's not a huge miss, right? If this was like 235K, yeah, you'd have that's a substantial difference. But we're talking about a 6,000 difference. That's not massive. It's not meaningless. It's something. At the same time, core PCE, which is the measurement of inflation we discussed here this morning, core PCE was expected to come out 0.4%. It came out as expected at 0.4%. Where does this leave us? Well, it leaves us with status quo continues to be the case, which is, and I'll show you on the edge finder, because I think we have by the way, quick gold check. Look at that, making our move. Let's see what happens here. And look at that oil making our move as well. We've got stop loss trailed, and I did add to my position yesterday inside of the VIP room. We added more to the trade. So I can't lose on this position, and I'll come back to the inflation chart, I promise, because it is really important. But just a quick update on oil, because I haven't talked about it just yet. With long oil, I am floating currently, let's check the P&L, up $5,800 on this trade. This thing is moving. And I actually added, if you remember, I had 2,200 shares of USO. Okay, I had 2,200 yesterday, not 22,000. That would be ridiculous. 2,200 yesterday. I then added shares yesterday on this break and retest. I added shares. I'm up to 2,500. Okay, I have 2,500 shares long USO. My stop loss for all of them is trailed into profit. Let me show you the overall actual position. Here's USO. Here's my trade. So we are in USO, stops below structure, right? So I added on the retest here yesterday. And again, we were floating $5,800 overall. If this continues to push, I'll look to trail stops further into profit, but I cannot lose money on this trade at this time. So even if we come crashing down, it's going to be a profitable trade, which is great. Good spot to be in. And let's keep going with the thought process here. So I mentioned inflation. We're back to, I think, status quo, which what is status quo? Well, let's look. Okay. So the inflation story has been, okay, inflation came down pretty meaningfully, kind of late 2023. Well, early and mid 2023. Then we kind of ticked higher, then we kind of ticked lower, then we kind of have stayed flat. So where does this leave us? Well, it actually, to me, kind of leaves me where we're at. We're not seeing momentum picking up to the downside, meaning, again, the target is 2%. The Fed is not necessarily an adversary right now to the story, right? They're not bearish outright for stocks because we do still expect rate cuts, but this does kind of push back continuously. If we don't get this cooling inflation, which we didn't get today. We didn't get, I mean, we did, but we didn't get, a huge momentum to the downside. This is why, not getting this just yet is why we're not seeing stocks, gold rip higher, right? For gold to really rip higher, you do need to see inflation coming down. So what we would have liked for gold, and don't get me wrong, we're seeing a nice move here, but for gold to get a substantial move up, like for gold to go back and flirt with these levels, we need inflation to really start to cool again. In fact, if you really want to get crazy with gold, you want inflation to really rapidly cool to the point that the Fed starts cutting rates because they get nervous. That's where you see gold go to 2,500. But that's not the case right now. So we continue to watch that. That's the story. Again, people who are newer to this stuff, they love to kind of dismiss fundamentals because they're kind of complicated. They're hard. But if you want to see 2,500 gold, I can bet my last penny on the fact that it's going to move there on fundamentals, not on a technical pattern. It's going to move there because something has broken, something has changed. The fundamental story drives it there.
Did you know we do a live trading show Monday through Friday with guests from all over the world? To get notified when we go live, click the bell button next to the subscribe button or check in at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. We have helpful, free content in the description below and on our website, a1trading.com. Thanks for watching today's video, and we'll see you tomorrow.